Narrative Inquiry in Bioethics is a unique bioethics journal because of its focus on stories. Stories run through all of the various kinds of articles that we publish, whether it's a case study that's published by an ethicist sharing a difficult case encountered on the floors of a hospital, or a qualitative research article, and these are stories from research participants, or our narrative symposia, which collect a series of stories from individuals about a shared topic, such as donating a kidney or being hospitalized for a psychiatric disorder.
We don't want our issues to be simply interesting. We also want them to be changing. We want them to affect change in modern healthcare, and this can happen by understanding other people's experiences. In the issue on living organ donation, for example, we heard from people who experienced rare complications or complications that are not necessarily rare, but they're not often disclosed and discussed specifically. And what we learned was that these things mattered. It mattered to people that they be prepared for even rare possible outcomes or adverse side effects. So one of the things that we hope that people can take from this is, what do patients want to know?
One of the more interesting things that I learned in the issue on living organ donation was that many people experience some level of psychological distress in donating their organ. In some cases, you heard of people who suffered from some depression or PTSD, even in one case, following the donation experience. But it was much more common to hear people talk about guilt, whether it was the guilt about complaining about their own pain and suffering following the surgery, they didn't want to make the recipient feel bad, or the guilt of complaining about the process and maybe weaknesses in the informed consent process because they don't want to hurt the reputation of living organ donation.
As we put together issues of narrative inquiry and bioethics, one of the things we think about is, whose experiences do we want to hear? Who are people whose lives or experiences are a focus of discussions in healthcare ethics, but we rarely hear those experiences directly from those individuals? Who are the voiceless people from whom we need to hear? And so we prepare issues with that in mind.
When we do a narrative symposium, we try to gather stories that are representative. Now, these are not statistically representative. We have no idea how frequently individuals share a certain experience, but we are trying to get them to be representative of the full range of experiences. And this is important because no one should be ignored when we're forming public policies.
We are both educators and editors of a journal. And as educators and editors, one of our most important goals is to help people develop new knowledge and new insights. And letting people speak through their own words, in stories, in case studies, and through the results of qualitative research is a tremendous way to do that, to allow the human story to come through.